Are you a frustrated beginner guitarist? Here are 10 of the most common mistakes that beginner guitarists make and how to avoid them. Number one, they don't have a well thought out plan. They're just randomly learning stuff on the internet and they never answered, why do I want to play guitar? Now you may think that that question is odd, but let me ask you, when you get in the car, there's a why, isn't there? You know exactly where you're going. And so because of that, you arrive where it is that you want to get to. What a lot of times people do is they play guitar because they want to be cool, or they want girls, or they want blank, whatever it is. But yet, there's a million different paths that you can go on the guitar. Say campfire guitar, blues guitar, studio guitar player, live guitar player, pop guitar player. There's so many different paths that you can go. And if you don't truly answer that why, you might be going off into a path watching all sorts of lessons that, although may be good, may not be the thing that's going to deliver you to the place that you want to get to as quickly as possible. Number two, they don't practice regularly and consistently, and so the progress that they do make, they lose it by putting the guitar down. Obviously, this is many guitar players because there's a lull sometimes in their desire to play. There should be some sort of everyday practice, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes, just to keep the mind and the fingers going. Now, you're going to see your best advances a lot of times when you really deep dive, but some sort of consistent practice every day is truly going to make you a better player and keep things consistent. Number three, not starting with the basics and always wanting to go to more advanced type lessons. Now, this is probably one of the biggest ones that I've seen with students over the last 4 decades that I've taught. I've taught over 10,000 one-on-one lessons, and I always saw, not always with all students, but I saw it many times where students were always trying to get to some other level and skip the basics, when in fact the basics are the things that we're using 100% of the time. Things like basic fretting, basic picking, basic strumming, basic music theory, that sort of thing. They're the stuff that you're going to stack everything else upon. So don't skip those basics. And the advanced stuff that you're going to use very rarely, you'll get to when you earn them. Be disciplined and do those basics, and I promise you it's going to pay off in spades. Number four, not paying attention to proper techniques, such as correct hand and finger technique. Now, this is more for the real baby beginner, but a lot of times people just approach the guitar like they're playing Guitar Pro, maybe only using fingers 1 and 2, not using fingers 3 and 4, playing with the pads of their fingers instead of the fingertips, etc. Doing this, I mean, this is the very foundation of everything, and without that, they're never going to truly be able to play well. So, it's super important. Number five, not learning music theory as it applies to the guitar. Now, a lot of times, even the word music theory brings fear to folks, but if you think about it, it's just the knowledge of music, okay? And in fact, it's so very easy to learn at least the basics of what you need. There's, of course, advanced music theory. Most people aren't going to use that, but the basics of music theory are super important, will really help you get around the guitar and understand what's going on. Number six, not varying their practice and getting stuck in a rut. So a lot of times people will just practice the same exercises or the same song over and over again. Diversity is the spice of life, right? So you must try different things. And when you do this, it pushes you out of your comfort zone, and that's always where the quan is. It's never in the stuff that you already know how to do. Yeah, you'll sharpen your skills some, but it truly has to do with that diversity. So change it up as much as you can. Number seven, not studying or listening to more seasoned guitarists. So remember, there's a lot of folks that have gone before us as guitar players. Why wouldn't we ride their coattails? Why wouldn't we learn from them and all the mistakes that they have learned, right? Just like standing on the shoulders of giants. If you're learning how to play Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen licks, then you're immediately learning from all the guys that they learned from instead of starting from scratch and just not listening to other guitar players. So yes, sometimes folks can lead you down a wrong path, but if it's a player who's not speaking out of ego and they truly want to help you and they have the knowledge, listen to them, gain their knowledge, use it to make you a better player. Number eight, not having patience and getting discouraged too easily. Everybody who comes to guitar thinks at some point that they're not cut out for it, or that there's some sort of special case, that their brain doesn't work right, or their fingers don't work right, or they can't play the bar chord, or they can't do this or that or the other thing. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of self-talk telling them they're not good enough. Maybe it has to do with the way that they were brought up, things that maybe their parents told them, etc. These are things that we have to work through. But friends, I can promise you that we all come to the table with an even playing field when it comes to playing guitar. The only thing that's going to make you better and get you from here to there is practice, okay? So try not to let that self-talk sabotage you and get you to think that you don't have the patience or that you don't have what it takes to get great at guitar, because you honestly do, but you got to apply it. Number 9, not seeking out a mentor or an instructor to help you along the way. Early on in my playing, I was teaching myself and I learned a lot of stuff. Of course, in the beginning, there's a ton of great stuff that you can learn. However, I found very quickly when I went to an instructor, I found out there was stuff that I didn't learn and things that I had learned improperly. It's not to say that I couldn't fix those things, and I did fix those things, but while I was learning the wrong stuff, or taking things and learning them, maybe not the wrong stuff, but learning them improperly. So I had to kind of go back and relearn some things. I find this all the time with students, and so seeking out a great instructor, and I say great because there's plenty of instructors that don't know what they're doing or just trying to get money. Make sure you find a great instructor who really cares and really likes to teach. There's plenty of players out there that are teaching just because that's all they can do. There's lots of others who love teaching. I've always loved teaching. So make sure you find someone who really is going to nurture this talent that you have, this desire that you have to be a great player. Super important. Not taking advantage of free tools. Man, there are so many great free tools for guitar players out there nowadays. There's a plethora of them. Take advantage of these, my friends. When I was a kid, there was a few tab books out there, but for the most part, it was either an instructor or learn yourself by just slowing the records down and pulling licks off of those records. Nowadays, there's so many great free tools out there. So take advantage of them, apps, courses, etc., etc. Friends, I'm here to help you. In fact, if you need help, I have a free course for you. It's my gift for you. Click that link below. Join me at YourGuitarSage.com. 36 of the best guitar lessons you'll ever take, and they're there for you absolutely free. Friends, I'm super passionate about playing and teaching guitar. I want to see you excel. Leave your comments below, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.